All right, now we can talk. Hi guys, welcome to another day in the life vlog. This morning has been a little rough. I don't look very put together. And honestly, that is how the majority of the time goes. Gotta open the door for the dog now, or she'll be scratching at the door. Be right back. All right, so this light, not the best. Let's move like that. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so thing has been a little bit rough. I came back from Mexico and that trip was amazing, amazing. Mexico will always hold a very, very dear spot in my heart. I'm taking my time editing that vlog. It's going to go on my travel channel and I'll put a link or a post in the community tab once that vlog is up, but it's going to take me a while because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have been posting twice a week for the last couple of weeks, and that is insane because I was barely keeping up with once a week. But I am not happy with the growth of my channel, to be honest. I have been putting so much effort and so much work into carefully crafting videos for you guys that bring value, that are helpful, as well as vlogs so that you can have a glimpse into my life, so that you see what I speak into actions and not just a bunch of theory and a bunch of like how-tos, but also what does that look like in real life, because there's perfect and there is reality, right? And we can have all the answers, but it's not always implementable. So I like to have this balance of bringing you guys value with information and sharing the knowledge that I have accumulated over the years, but also showing what it looks like in my daily life. So bringing a touch of reality to this channel. And I was alternating. I was posting a informational video and a vlog, and I know my channel is growing, I shouldn't be complaining, but for the amount of effort that I'm putting in, I am not seeing the results that I would expect. After talking to a friend, I decided to push it and try to post twice a week and see what happens. See if YouTube, the algorithm picks up a little bit. So if you would do me a huge favor, subscribing, hitting the like button, as well as leaving comments. I always answer. It may take me a few days, but I always answer. And hopefully that engagement and this increased traffic with posting twice a week may get my channel a little bit more visible in the YouTube world. So I would really appreciate if you gave me a little helping hand there. Going back to, I just came back from Mexico. I haven't been very well since I came back. So I traveled to Mexico with both my daughters and a very close friend of mine. And it was amazing. We had an amazing time. The dog scratching at the door again. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh, I'm telling you, this is like real life. None of this is like scripted, prepared. So the trip was amazing. We were there for 4 days and we had the best time. But the last day, actually, I started to not feel great the day before. It was a very packed day. It was a day that we woke up early. We went to the beach early because we got some free day passes for the beach loungers. So we want to take advantage of that. And we had an excursion booked. We did snorkeling. And so we were out all day, out in the ocean, in the water, in the sun. And it was a long day. I felt I was a bit dehydrated. I hadn't eaten properly. I was exhausted. And so I thought that evening I wasn't feeling good because of it. I felt maybe a little bit of a sunstroke kind of thing. Then the next day was our travel back day. And again, I thought I was just maybe a little bit stressed with the trip because we traveled standby and the flights were full, and we were a group of 4 people. One of my daughters took the first flight, the direct flight, because she had to work at 5 a.m. the next morning. And so my older daughter, myself, and my friend ended up having to take a later flight that not only was a later flight, but also had a layover, I had a stop. So we had to fly to Vancouver, and then from Vancouver back to Toronto. So normally it's a 5-hour straight flight. We did 5 hours to Vancouver and then 5 hours to Toronto. So that was like double the time. The flight from Vancouver to Toronto was a red-eye flight. It left at 10:30 at night, which meant, you know, I was up all night. Babysitting luggage. We don't know if we're gonna make the flight. The flight is full. And the next one is to Vancouver, and it gets there at 11 p.m. and then we get the red-eyed and get in Toronto at 6 a.m. At this point, my friend and my daughter also started to feel sick and started throwing up. And we weren't sure what was going on. We're starting to think like, maybe it's a virus, is it food poisoning? We weren't sure what was going on. All 3, my 2 daughters and my friend, had Subway in Mexico, and we think that most likely they had some sort of food poisoning because they sort of had the same thing and it started to happen, you know, right after. I didn't have Subway. I didn't throw up. I didn't have diarrhea. I didn't have a fever, but I am still sick to this day. And when I say sick, is like severe stomach pain. Like everything I eat, I feel like I have been punched in the stomach, and I have a lot of gas. I'm like burping, I'm like farting, I'm like there's air coming out everywhere. There's something going on and I don't know what it is. And it can't be just pure exhaustion anymore because I had plenty of rest. I think I was in bed for 24 hours after I came back, but it is not getting better. Not what I would like to be dealing with, but it is a reality of people who travel, and of people who travel to tropical countries and developing countries. A risk I know I'm taking. Is it harder on someone who has chronic illnesses? Yes, but Kayla, don't knock my tripod. Come. Come. You wanna see him? Oh, the dog that needs a bath. The dog that needs a bath. I just love traveling and I would hate to not be able to do it anymore. So I just take the risk and then deal with the consequences after. Okay, so enough about the Mexico trip. I have some other news to share with you. Today is a busy day. It's a kind of a crazy day. I need to deal with this. This is awful. If my hair dries like that, that's a disaster. So we are going to take care of this and then I'll share the rest of the news with you.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter.
This is so much better. I can deal with this. Let's put this microphone on. So this is a letter from my rheumatologist. My husband just picked it up at the mail. And I have to tell you a story about this. First, let me see what this letter says. But this has been stressing me out. Let me get my glasses. All right. Okay, that's just a copy of my medical records that I had requested, and oh my goodness, it is so hard to get a copy of your medical records here. Like, I am not the owner of it. There are so many loops that you need to jump in order to get like a physical copy, and we don't have access to the electronic medical records, and so the only access I have is requesting a hard copy. But anyways, that's a different story for a different day. But what I wanted to say about this that has been stressing me out is that the last appointment that I was at the rheumatologist, she wanted to do an MRI to see if there was any fusion of the spine, any lesions on the spine, any specific inflammation in certain areas of the spine because of the ankylosing spondylitis. And the way this medical system works, which, let me ask you, what year are we on? Is it 2024 by any chance? So this office, actually this entire hospital and network of hospitals, is still send your appointments by mail, in a piece of paper, in an envelope, and you have to check your mail. So they send me a correspondence at the end of December, like December 22nd, for an appointment on January 5th. And then I was not checking my mail because, you know, the holidays, crazy, everybody busy, and we don't really have the habit of checking our mail often. I would say we check maybe once a week, once every 10 days. And by the time I actually got the envelope and the mail with the appointment, I had already missed it. Now, since I realized I have missed that appointment, I have been calling the MRI office every single workday. And I still, to this day, and we're at the beginning of February, I still haven't been able to reach anyone. So now there is no point in doing a follow-up appointment because I haven't done my tests. There's also an ultrasound that I was supposed to do as well of the sacroiliac joint, and I still haven't got that appointment. I'm sure that they might have sent it by mail and it got lost, and I can't reach anybody. So yeah, that is my situation right now. I am in so much pain, so much pain. I know I am in an AS flare since even just before the trip, because my eye flares up as well, and I'm starting to get some eye issues again, and the pain has been out of control. I am taking the medication twice a day, the anti-inflammatory, and it's doing nothing. I haven't been able to exercise at all. I am not sleeping well. I just cannot get a handle on this pain. I need to see the rheumatologist to see if I can change medication, if there's anything else that I can do. And I cannot get through their office either. So I'm just like, so frustrated, so frustrated. I think I might just have to drive to the office so that I can speak to the secretary and see what's going on, which is absolutely ridiculous that I have to take time and energy from my life, pay parking, and waste all this time to just go figure out what the hell is happening to my appointments. Like, that is just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, now that I got this out of my chest, thank you so much for listening. I need to get ready because I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. And no, it is not the rheumatologist, it is a gynecologist. The appointment that I have been waiting since December. And my appointment was actually scheduled for March because all the specialists here have a wait list of 3 to 6 months, and I was lucky to be on the lower end of the 3 months, but they had a cancellation. So they called me on Friday and said, can you come on Monday? And now, let me tell you also a little backstory about this appointment. Let me just get ready.
at the ceiling. I've been staying up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye. I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue. Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do? I've been running circles.
I'm ready, but it's not time to go yet. First, I need to get all my medical history together. I'm going to print some labs that I had, I would say, in the last 6 months. And yeah, make sure that all my medication is up to date on my medical history, print everything out, any tests that I have done, just to make the appointment that much easier. It looks very professional. It shows the doctor that you are responsible, that you're involved in your health care, that you know what you're talking about, and it just makes the appointment run so much more smoothly and things don't get missed, and overall it's just a much better experience. So I highly recommend that if you have a doctor's appointment, especially specialist appointments, that you go prepared. I'm actually making a video about that, about how to avoid being gaslighted, how to communicate with your doctor, how to make the most out of your doctor's appointment. So stay tuned for that one. But for now, I'm just going to get my stuff organized so that I make sure that this appointment is all that I hope it to be, and that by the end of it, we have a solid plan to deal with this awful menopause that is rocking my world. I honestly should make a video about it, but I'm not ready yet. But you all know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm going through the change and it is killing me. It is flaring every chronic illness I have, and it's even making other ones come up. I'm sure the drop in estrogen had to do with this ankylosing spondylitis. Anyways, yeah, let me just get ready.
Catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. And I know there's so much more to this life, but it's hard to see it clearly. Yeah, I try my best, but nothing turns out right. God, I need you now so dearly, 'cause I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can. I ain't got nothing left. Nothing left. Nothing left.
Oh shoot, I forgot my papers. Don't do that. Don't leave your papers behind. Papers. Just it is. I was going to do a run to Value Village to drop off a bunch of stuff that I'm cleaning up and decluttering, And this has been in my car since before the Mexico trip, and I completely forgot about it. So yeah, there is that too. All right, let's do this. I'm excited. I'm nervous. It is right downtown, so it's going to be super difficult to find parking. I am not giving myself time to find parking because I'm gonna get there like 5 minutes before my appointment. But my appointment is probably one of the last of the day, or maybe second last of the day, because I think the office closes at 4 and my appointment is at 3:10. So chances are, being a healthcare provider myself, that the appointments at the end of the day tend to run late because it accumulates the delays of the day. So here's the tip for you. If you want an appointment where your doctor has a higher chance to see you on time, grab a morning appointment, because especially the very last ones of the day, all the delays of the day, all the stuff that happens, it accumulates and then it reflects on your appointment. So I could wait an hour, she could be on time, who knows what's gonna happen. But here's the funny, not funny story. Oops. I have worked as a midwife, and as a midwife, I worked out of a hospital, and I worked with, sorry, there is a loose blank in the back. I worked with all the OBGYNs that work in the city that have privileges at this hospital. And this is one of said doctors. Now, I have worked with her before, and I don't necessarily think that this is a conflict of interest. However, I did have a very bad experience with her. So that was when I was fresh out of university, my very first job as a midwife. I got hired by this clinic that had privileges at this hospital. And it took a while for my license to be issued because of delays or whatever, funding. Anyways, I was supposed to have started almost 2 weeks before I actually did. And so a lot of my patients got pushed onto other midwives. So everybody was super overwhelmed. So when I got my license, I got thrown into the eye of the storm. There was a birth storm going on. They were short on midwives because the midwives were doing all those other births that I was supposed to be doing. So they were tired, they were working extra hours. And I was supposed to get training at this hospital, not for the job itself, but for the hospital electronic records and how to put orders in, how to get the meds, like all the kind of like hospital detail training that you're supposed to get. I never got that training. I got thrown into a birth right away, and it was a disaster. I had to consult with the OB on call, which happened to be said OB. And I was not prepared. I didn't know how to do the paperwork of the hospital. It looked very unprofessional. She was rude to me. She was not understanding. And it was just a very unpleasant experience. I don't even know if she remembers me. I think it's more likely that I remember the encounter because it was traumatic for me. You know, like you're just beginning and it's your first birth at the hospital, and it's because of lack of training and made you look unprofessional. And it was just like, not a nice experience. And so, yeah, I did have a bit of an encounter with her. And so when I found out that she was the referring physician for me, when I asked to see a gynecologist, I told my family doctor, I said, listen, I had, like this instance, this situation with her, and I would rather not see her. And she's like, of course. And then she referred me to somebody else. So I was actually on the wait list for 2 obstetricians or gynecologists, which you're not supposed to. But I got into the system. I'm like, you know what? I'm just leaving as it is. And my appointment with the second gynecologist is not going to be until March. And I'm like, okay, that's what it is. And I was planning my trips according to that. And symptoms are getting bad, and I'm not sleeping, and I'm in a lot of pain. I considered even going to Brazil to consult there. And the reason I didn't is because of all the tests that need to be done before you can go on hormone replacement therapy. That if I'm here is covered by universal health care and I don't have to pay. And if I was in Brazil, I would have to pay for all those tests. So that's the only reason why I didn't go. But I got a call on Friday from this gynecologist that I had the incident, saying that she had the cancellation and she had an opening today, Monday. And let me tell you, when you are so desperate, when your symptoms are so bad that you have to swallow your pride and you have to put any differences that you have aside and just go for it, that is what happens. It is a very humbling experience. I don't know if she holds any grudges against me. I don't know if she even remembers, but it was definitely a big learning and growth experience on my end to give her the benefit of the doubt that she could have handled the situation better, but I also don't know what she was going through, and that we were both at fault and that we could have handled the situation a lot better and on both sides. So yeah, just like being humble, putting pride aside, and work as professionals, or at least she's in the professional role, I'm in the patient role, and that she will conduct herself as a professional. And yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. I'll let you know. I'm very nervous. I'm sure if they do vitals and she takes my blood pressure, she's gonna think I have high blood pressure. And I'm like, no, it's quite the opposite. I have low blood pressure. Anyways, yeah, so I'm heading there. I'm excited. I'm very excited because potentially I'm gonna get some relief. I'm very excited to get the ball rolling on this process. Oh shoot, I was supposed to. See, I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. I'm gonna butt in here. It would be interesting to see if I do go on hormonal replacement therapy, how quickly I can get relief from symptoms. And so to find out how much of what I'm feeling is aggravated by menopause and hopefully feel better, because I am planning a trip to Thailand. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. This is the third time I plan a trip to Thailand. One day I'll tell the story, maybe next vlog. But I really would love to go on this trip, but it's a very hard on the body trip, not only because it's a 24-hour straight traveling day, and also because I am going so far, this is going to be a longer trip. I usually do short trips. My trips are not very long at all, unless I'm in Brazil and I'm at home, like at my dad's house, and you know, it's just comfortable. It's kind of like being at home, but I'm gonna be traveling like in hostels. And so that's also tiring. I know that's gonna be harder on my body because of the trip itself, the length of the trip, because of the kind of stay I'm doing in hostels. So I need to be better. As I am today, there is not a chance I could do this trip. But I'm a dreamer. And I'm gonna plan for this trip. And because I travel standby and I'm not making like hotel reservations ahead of time, I can pretty much play it by ear and see how I'm feeling, because I can change my ticket literally like the day of the flight. So I'm just gonna see how I'm doing. I'm hoping that this cancellation was a sign. It was a sign for finally this trip to happen. Third time is the charm, right? I'm excited. Nervous, but excited. I'll tell you what happens. Parking! Oh my goodness, guys. Everything is working. Whew, I love when you get signs from the universe, you know? I'm back. Oh my God, guys. I don't know if she remembered me, but she was so professional and so nice. It's crazy how you can have an experience, an encounter with a person, and then have a completely different experience at another time. As for the last appointment of the day, I have to take my hat off to her because I did not wait a single moment. I did not even sit down on the waiting room chair. The moment I got there, the receptionist took my information. I got taken into the room. I think I waited maybe 5 minutes into the room. She came in, she was polite, she got the information she needed, and she prescribed hormone replacement therapy. Ooh, ooh. So happy. Oh, this is such a relief. She prescribed estrogen as a cream and progesterone orally. She said that I should start seeing results in a couple of weeks. Holy cow! If this happens, it's life-changing because it has been a year of symptoms and suffering, and me going to my family doctor and saying that this is happening, and never being referred to a gynecologist. And then when I finally set my foot down and I'm like, I need this, I demand to see a gynecologist, then it was like a 3 months wait time, and then this appointment just happened over a weekend. I had to wait like 2 days from when they called me with this cancellation, and now I'm prescribed and I'm gonna start treatment today. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so happy, so relieved, and oh my gosh, that was an incredible experience. Wow, the sun. Okay, that's a little bit better. And it's just to show how just because you kind of started on the wrong foot with someone, it doesn't mean that things can't change. And like I said, yeah, I don't think she remembered me. She knows I'm a midwife because she asked, are you still working as a midwife? But if she did remember me, she did not refer to it. She did not treat me with less respect. So either she's a very, very good professional or she didn't remember me. But either way, she was a good professional today. So yeah, that's just a very humbling experience. Definitely an opportunity for growth here. And I'm glad that I could share that with you. I'm just so excited right now. My mood has gone from here to here, and it's just crazy how the prospect of hope can change how you feel. Because pretty much up to today, even knowing that I had this appointment, I didn't know how much resistance I was going to get, if they're gonna say, no, you're not a good candidate, we're not gonna do it yet. And so feeling hopeless and not having the prospect of improvement can really take a toll on your mood. And then like in a second, like hope is back in my veins, and I feel like, yes, I have the prospect of a life with quality and be able to do things again. So yeah, life is wonderful right now.